So hello and welcome. I'm Frederick Dunn, and today I'm going to talk with you about another smart bird feeder. What that means is it's a feeder that's got a camera built into it. This one comes from a company called Camojojo, but the actual app is called HiBird. It's a smart bird feeder, and by that it means it's got a camera built into it, and this is different from cameras I've tested in the past because it's a proprietary camera that comes directly from the company. Now they show a picture of a robin here on the side that's different than the North American robins for sure, and it says it has a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, and the good news is you don't have to get your own batteries. All you do is charge it up, and it lasts for a very long time. I can tell you that for sure. It has 4K recording, and I'm going to give you samples of those. This video is in 1080p. So anyway, it says to download the Camojojo app for the full experience and to use that. But see that HiBird thing in the center? The HiBird app is what you're after. If you download that Camojojo app, that's for a variety of other things the company makes, and it did not work with this camera. So I'm going to go over that a little bit later, but for now, let's just look at what's in the box. Smart bird feeder, camera part in that box, and of course it's got an instruction manual, and that's got a scan code inside for you. Northern Cardinal, Camojojo, slant, HiBird. So I do need to say that this was given to me for my opinion and review, and they gave it to me in fact before the product even launched, so that was interesting. And I didn't want to take it because I've seen a lot of these and I've tested a lot of them. And you can find them on my YouTube channel. You can look up bird feeder with camera and see what the others look like. This one is different, and I'm going to go over the details regarding why it's different and why I think this is a little bit better than those I've tested in the past. This is a lid, of course, and it is pretty sturdy material. The others in the past have been a little bit flimsy, but functional, and they're still out there, still going strong. The box that this thing came in is heavy duty, so I guess that just protects it well in transit, and the contents here are listed. You've got the camera itself, the cover, the housing for the camera, the feeder plate, all the hardware that you need to put this on a tree, the side of a building, anything you want, it's right there. So I'm going to go over it step by step. I'm not going to leave anything out. Look at the size of this camera. And by the way, it does look pretty dusty. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. It has an antenna. It does connect to your Wi-Fi, and they have options for loading the data into the cloud. I don't do that, but I'll go over it anyway. And it includes this 32 gigabyte micro card, right? Micro SD card. So the mounting hardware is good. I like it, and the reason is you don't need hardware. Once it's attached to the tree, and that's the template for putting it on the tree, I don't think you need the template. Just hold it up to the tree and drive screws into it and make sure it's level. This is the housing for the camera. It also is the reservoir for the extra birdseed that you're going to put on it, and that yellow cap there is where your antenna is going to go. Now there is a scan bar there, and you can do that, but that does not download the app for you. It registers your camera. So one of the things that makes this different is the feeding tray here, and in the past the birds would get too close to the cameras on the other feeders, and I like that there's a transparent piece here that keeps your bird away from the camera, so it's at the perfect focal distance from the lens. Also, the tray here has drains in it. Vents, water's not going to build up in it. It also has a 1/4-20 thread reducer on the bottom there. That's a brass piece you see there. And there's a 1/4-20 thread on the back as well. But these are all by hand, so you can easily attach and remove these components from the tree once you mount it. So that's a big advantage. Also, everything looks really washable. And of course, you're going to want to do that in the wintertime, for example. I don't know if you feed your I don't know if you feed your birds in the wintertime. But springtime is definitely a big deal because I feed the North American bluebirds, and I'm giving them black soldier fly larvae, which is what I've been doing in the past, and it results in better spring hatches, stronger eggs because of the calcium and everything else. Anyway, let's talk about the camera. There's a 1/4-20 thread for the bottom and the back. You can use this camera by itself. It doesn't have to go into the bird feeder, but of course we're reviewing the bird feeder camera combination, and we're going to go ahead that way. These are lens wipes that I always have with me. They're good for your glasses, camera equipment, video gear, anything you need. And it's going to be good here for cleaning up this camera. See? Nice and clean. So it's got the sensor, it has LED lights built into it, and the camera lens is pretty darn good because I was impressed, and you're going to see samples at the very end of this video. If you want to jump ahead just to see samples, go to 16 minutes and 25 seconds and you'll see it. This is where the micro SD card goes in, and it's weather sealed. We're of course going to put it in, and it takes a micro card all the way up to 128 gigs. 32 gigs is fine for me. And here's the weatherproof seal. And of course we're going to open it, we're going to pull the card, and then we're going to put it back in. I just want to check it out, to see, is this thing really going to hold up to the weather? And we have had heavy weather for the time that it's been outside. So even after I put this together and put it out, it is holding up well, and there's no evidence of moisture getting into where the card is or where the USB plugs in to charge the camera. And of course we're going to go over all that. This is where your antenna attaches. And you will need the antenna because it's going to communicate with your home Wi-Fi system, and then you'll be able to check it with your smartphone. So took the yellow cap off, the antenna goes on, and the antenna has to be pointed straight out like this so that you can slide it in the bracket that will be mounted to your tree or the building or wherever you're going to put this bird feeder. Then once it's through, you just flip it up into this position, and the range is great, by the way. I have it out about 100 feet from my house, and the signal bar strength is full, 5 signal bars, so it's pretty good. USB charger port right there, we're going to use that, of course. We have to charge things up. You don't have to worry about if it's on or off, it tells you so.
The camera powered on.
No.
Please configure the Wi-Fi network for the camera.
And it keeps saying this over and over. Please configure the Wi-Fi camera. Anyway, the scan that you have to shoot is once you download the app, then you're going to see a QR code on the app, and the camera, this camera right here, has to point at the app on your phone screen to download it. So it was a little hard for me to figure that out because I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer when it comes to this high-tech stuff, but it wasn't the barcode on the back, it was the one that downloads from the site. So anyway, it's in charger mode. You notice it was red before because it was being charged, and it's green now. I've had this thing out for almost 30 days, and it didn't even discharge 10% of the battery, so I think that's pretty darn good. One of the things that I like about this too that is different from other feeders I've had with cameras in them is that you can adjust the distance of that perch from the face of the camera. So you can stick it out farther for larger birds. My target species, of course, is the North American bluebird. And bluebirds don't normally come to feeders, and they only come to this feeder because, again, I'm using black soldier fly larvae, and this is a removable tray, so you can take it, wash it out. Highly recommend you do that periodically whenever it's empty. And then you just put it all back in, and everything is manual, no tools. Very easy, and of course the bottom there, it's going to drain too. And you have an adjustable intermediate perch there, so that slides the full length of it, and I'll also show you what it looks like when it's fully extended. First, let's put the camera into the housing, tilt this back, remember, so it'll go through the back there. And you don't need tools to put that together. These tools are there so you can put the screws in to mount this to the tree, and there are also shorter screws that mount the top to the back, and I'll show you where they're located here, right there. Stainless steel. So there shouldn't be any rusting there. Camera's in place, screws in with the thumb screw, very easy, and we have the lid off. This is what I'm going to feed. It says Worms King. It all ran together like one word there, but these are the least expensive on Amazon, by the way, and the birds go after them. It is better than mealworms for your bluebirds. And the reason for that is there's more calcium, more protein, and it's a better resource. So black soldier fly larvae is on the upswing as far as bird feed goes for the birds that don't eat seed. And of course, look at these clips that lock the lid on. That's pretty easy too, because all you do is open these clips, flip the lid off, and you see those round circles there. That's where the lid clicks in, and then it just works as a hinge, and it goes down. So very easy to access that reservoir on the back. Although you do have to bang it around a little bit to keep the black soldier fly larvae going down. The other thing is I have this little portable level that I put on there. Just make sure you level it up good. You want it level on the tree, you want it to look good, and there it is. I did that without the template, so you don't need the template. Get a level, line it up, put the screws in. You have that little hand Allen wrench to do that if you want to. And then of course, once it's in and set up, all you have to do is turn it on.
Waiting to configure the Wi-Fi network. Please use the camera to scan the QR code generated on the screen.
And once you once you connect to the Wi-Fi network, then you'll be able to check the phone, and you can also check the camera through your phone, and you can choose live view if you want to. So you can just turn it on. You can also decide whether you want alerts. You do have to have that micro SD card in there if you want to get the full-size images and videos stored on the system. And that lets you view it from your camera also. They also have subscriptions so that you can load it in the cloud. I did not subscribe for this. There's a little Donnie Woodpecker checking out that tree. So now let's go over the app. And remember, see that HiBird icon right there? That's the app you want, not the other one for the main company. I was puzzled by that for a little bit. And then it lets you connect to your camera. But when you do that, it's going to, of course, put that code up that you're going to have to hold up to the camera and let it take the picture. So it now connects, and you have the option, of course, to accept. You also choose what parts of your phone the camera has access to. So when this app has access to your phone, you can put it so that it will upload the videos, which it did. It's pretty interesting, right through the app. You control all of that. You can have everything just go straight to the micro SD card without even setting up the app. But if you don't use the app, you can't make the adjustments to the camera like the ones shown here. I have it set on video mode exclusively. You have options to do photo and video, or just photo or just video. You also choose the resolution. There's a watermark on it. They call it the water stamp here. I left that on for the samples, and I'm going to turn it off now because I don't need that on my finished videos. And remember, it's recording in 4K, and I was impressed by that. So I'm connected to my network. It allows me to check it from my phone, which means I can check it anywhere I happen to be. So you can also use it as a bird feeder slant security camera if you wanted to. So let's go through some of these modes here. And first we'll look at video, video photo option, and photo by itself. So the video, of course, remember I set mine for 4K. If you're doing still images, you can go all the way up to 32 megapixel images. So right now it's at 8. I don't care about it. I'm not using it. And for video, 4K is the highest you can do. And if you choose 4K, that means you can zoom in on parts of the bird if you want to later. So you also choose 20 seconds, 10 seconds, or 30 seconds. The samples that are posted on this video are 10 seconds long, but I've ramped them up to 20 seconds. That means every time it's triggered, it records for 20 seconds. Then there's also a nightlight function. I didn't want to scare the animals away, so I left that off for the sample images, but now I've turned the status light on, and also I turned on the LED light so that when it has something active going near it, that LED light's going to come on and give me full color images at night. You can format the card here and also reset the camera or restart the camera. You have to have a password. You don't want anybody being able to log in and format your SD card and then delete your data without you knowing about it. This is what it looks like when you pull up the videos on your phone in the app. So you just click on any of the ones that you want, and you see them in full resolution or whatever the resolution limitations are of your phone. But they look really good. They also look really good on your laptop or your desktop. The device is online. You can click to go live. That means you click the play button up there, and you will see exactly what your camera is seeing right now. There is a little delay there, though. It's about 5 seconds. So if you're looking at something in real time, it will be delayed. Camera feeder has been added successfully. That's good news. So this shows you that I've been doing this since February 20th. Today is March the 7th. And there you go. So we get a bunch of videos on there, and you'll see the samples as I mentioned on here. You can also go to the camera, and there are settings that you can do. It also shows there are 376 captures, and I had it on the least sensitive motion detection. So here it is. By the way, if you hit reset, it will reset the entire camera and put you through that whole process again of reconnecting to your Wi-Fi. So I highly recommend you don't do that. I just showed it to you so you know what it does. You can restart the camera so it turns the camera off and turns the camera back on. I don't know why you'd want to do that other than to verify to yourself that the camera's running, because remember, it talks to you every time it turns off and it talks to you when it turns on. So the device is online, and again, you can check this with the app. If you don't download the app, you can't check it. So then you have to go out and look for the green light on the front of your camera to show that it's active. The other thing is you have talk functions. You have other things to do here. There's the bell alert system up there. Let me show you a sample here. And of course, I held my phone vertical. You could hold your phone horizontal and get a bigger picture. By the way, the audio is really good, better than the Blink cameras and way better than the Arlo Pro cameras that I also use on my property. This is a much better camera. Of course, it's a nice big camera and it focuses close in. It does not do a great job of focusing on things far away, like half across your yard. So it's pretty decent. When you click the talk button here, you have a chance to play alert sounds. You can hold to talk. So you hold that button and you can talk to somebody through your camera. You can talk to those birds. It also has bird sounds that it can play that attracts birds. I don't know if that works. Didn't try it. Don't need to, because the birds just find it because there's food in it. So I don't think that's very critical. And of course, I renamed it Fred's Finest Feeder Camera because it is the best of all the ones that I have right now. And these are the samples. So this is a North American bluebird. That's the target species. I want to make sure and get them off to a good start because they have a lot of house sparrows to fight off when it comes to picking nest boxes this time of year. Now the other thing is, this is very close looking, and that's because I put this on a 1080p video, and I would normally need to put that in closer. So I'm going to change that up and show you what the full image looks like. So I'll change that. But that's a bluebird. There's a male and a female, and they get attacked full on by the house sparrows. That is a chickadee, black-capped chickadee, also a great little bird around here. And remember, these are birds that only eat bugs and larvae and grubs and things like that, and the bluebird is one of those. They do sometimes eat holly berries and go after some other things, but if you want them to really be strong in spring, we need to give them access to real bugs. Now here's a night shot of a deer, and we did not have the LED come on for that. So you just get to see what the deer looks like in the dark. So we're back to the bluebird. Now the chickens in the distance are out of focus. So you do not get sharp focus on things that are far away. Now I don't know if there's nothing on the perch, if it would refocus to something distant. It didn't seem to do that. So I think it is a fixed focal distance camera. So here we are with the chickadee. So we shoot under different lighting situations so that you can see what the quality is. Black-capped chickadee here, dusk, dawn, sun flare from the sunrise, which is coming straight at the camera, which is very difficult for some cameras to handle. They get a bunch of lens flare and little circles that you'll see, little colored orbs. The other thing is I recommend putting this out in full sun. This is sitting in the shade of a evergreen tree. So it's mounted right to the side of an evergreen tree. So it definitely needs some additional light there. Wind noise also was not bad. But you can see how sharp the details are in the feathers around the eyes of this bird. This is a very good camera system, and again, I credit that too to the fact that you can have the birds farther away from the camera by that little clear cover that keeps them back on the perch. With some of the other camera designs and systems, the birds would come up and of course eat the feed an inch away from the camera, and then it would be all out of focus. So they really worked that out well here. Deer walking through at night. The only light that's on them, of course, comes from secondary lights, not from the camera itself, although I did turn the LED light on now, and that would, of course, come on. It does not have, like, infrared function. So I hope you found this review helpful, and the samples could help you make a decision about this unit. I definitely like the camera. You can use the camera anywhere. The feeder is also well designed. Thank you so much for watching. So now we have an extended group of sequences here I wanted to show you because we had rain, wind, snow, and a lot of weather variants come in. I thought it would be a great opportunity to show the great audio and how well it holds up under these conditions. This is a male and female bluebird. So the extended perch would allow them to get farther from the camera, hopefully get some more light on the birds. Remember, this one's in the shade. If you put yours out in bright sunlight, it would be much better for lighting. Also, maybe if you painted it, now I'm not going to do that because it's a review, but if you painted it silver, you would get reflections back without it being so shiny that they're attracted to their own reflection. So better than a mirror. This is a male bluebird. That's the female bluebird. And of course, a windstorm came through on March the 10th. We had high winds, gusts up to 40, 45 miles an hour. That was a black-capped chickadee. And here we are again with the male and female bluebirds. The black soldier fly larvae, very important, especially when the weather got cold and the snow came and they needed to lay claim to their territory. Dark-eyed junco here, also known as snowbirds to some people. That was a red-winged blackbird call in the background. Back to the bluebird and the rain. You can hear the house sparrow chirping in the background. They follow the bluebirds around and they harass them at all of the bluebird boxes. Bluebird again. That's a red-winged blackbird call that you heard. Back to the bluebird. You can hear a robin chirping in the background. You can hear the rooster crowing in the background. Back to the bluebird here, and you can hear the chickens talking. They, of course, walk underneath the feeder and pick up any black soldier fly larvae that lands on the ground. They consider that a very special treat. The cardinal shows up, of course, during the snowstorm. none of the shots are edited, no post-production work, just so that you can see exactly how it comes out of the camera. Very impressed with the audio and the ability to handle wind gusts, rain, different activities, and still record excellent bird sounds. Back to the black-capped chickadee. Squirrel running around in the background there. Back to the bluebird. And by having the perch extended, when they sit like this, we can see them really well. And of course, the black soldier fly larvae are visible in the foreground. Dark-eyed junco. Red-winged blackbird song out of screen. And the house sparrows chirping away in the distance. Back to the cardinal. This is the male. And that wraps it up. Please look down in the video description for any specials or information that the company provides. Thanks for watching.